Good morning. It is Thursday, the 15th of September. We continue the story of Paul being arrested. We are in Acts chapter 16, verses 25 through to the end of that chapter, verse 40. And we know that Paul and his companions are arrested falsely, unfairly, unjustly, but they are thrown into prison and they will face a trial the following morning. And during the night, they are worshipping and praising God when there is a most violent earthquake and the doors of the jail are flung open, the chains fall off them, they are in stocks as well, and everything flies open and they are now free to go. But we are told they don't go. The jailer wakes up in great fright, sees that the doors of the jail are open, makes the assumption that the prisoners have escaped. The prisoners are Paul and his companions and others. We are told the others are listening to Paul and the companions preaching and worshiping God. And the jailer is about to kill himself when Paul sees what's happening, shouts out to him to say, "Do not fear, we're all here." And the jailer realizes that this earthquake is more of a divine intervention than it is some kind of geographical event. And so he is absolutely amazed. He comes to realize that his life is in danger. He was just about to kill himself. He would have been killed by the magistrates and the authorities if the prisoners had escaped anyway. So he has escaped a narrow death, and he comes to faith and he asks Paul and the companions to preach to him, "What must I do to be saved?" And they give that short, concise answer, "Believe in the Lord Jesus." And that's true. That's all we need to do to be saved. Believe in the Lord Jesus. Obviously, just belief with some kind of thought process in our head and no further action is insufficient. So Paul goes on and explains in more detail what's it all about. And the jailer and his family are baptized there late at night, as it were. And then the following morning, the magistrates send officers to the jail to say, "Let those men go." So no trial. They were locked up incorrectly. Paul must have realized that. And so Paul says, "No, we're not going to simply walk out of here as if we accept our guilt. We believe we are innocent. Furthermore, we are Roman citizens and we were unjustly jailed and done so without a trial." Remember, in the whole event, we pointed out that Paul and the companions were not asked to plead and defend themselves. The magistrates are terrified when they hear what they have done because they've done the wrong thing. They have acceded to the demands of the crowd, mob justice. They've done the wrong thing to Roman citizens as well. So they have to come themselves, and they take Paul and the companions out of the city. They ask them never to come back again. I'm sure Paul's not really going to pay much attention to that. But Paul is not just rubbing salt in the wounds of the magistrates. I believe he's also declaring that just as we are innocent, so is the church of Jesus Christ innocent. So Paul is really doing the right thing. Now, Paul and the companions are not laissez-faire when they went to jail and said, "Oh, well, we've been caught out and let's just face our punishment." I believe in faith. They knew that they were doing exactly what God wanted them to do. They had been very strategic. They weren't purposefully rubbing up the authorities in the wrong way so as to get themselves arrested. They were simply going about doing the right thing. And so when they were arrested, they knew that this was actually God's problem and that God would deal with it in whichever way God chose to deal with it. And if it was to be their end, then so be it. That was the choice of God, and they would be going to heaven where there would be wonderful rejoicing and no more pain and suffering, no more silly mob crowds and mob justice taking place. They trusted to God, and God delivered this incredible earthquake. We're not told that anyone else in the city experienced an earthquake. It was just that building got shaken to its roots. And so let us have faith that if we do what is right and we obey God, we've not been presumptuous and done our own thing, trying to claim that it was God, but we have truly obeyed God, then let God deal with the problems that we find ourselves in. Maybe quick, maybe an earthquake or something that very night. It may take a whole lot longer, but let us have faith in God. And that's easier said than done, I well know. But let us have that faith in God. Wisdom is the fear of the Lord, not being scared of God, but understanding God is God, let him be God. And knowledge is knowing that evil is evil and we must shun it. That's our reading from Job today. But back to Job chapter 28, the whole chapter. Folks, have a wonderful day. We'll chat again tomorrow. God bless.